I think there are 3 Ds in India which are very characteristic of the nation and potential sources of considerable strength. And these 3 Ds are democracy, diversity, and demography. Now, if we are able to use these 3 Ds effectively, India will do exceedingly well in the coming years. If the demographic profile is a dividend rather than a bomb, if the democracy helps us achieve results that the population at large supports as opposed to lead to total slowdown and bottlenecks, if we make sure that our diversity is an integrated diversity where we celebrate our differences as opposed to centrifuging the nation apart. So in all these 3, if we use the potential strengths, we will do very well. And in fact, one of the challenges for all institutions, academic institutions included, but also business institutions and other social and political ones, is to make sure that we use the positives of these 3 Ds for the nation in the coming years. The Council can really contribute by having 2 elements which I think really contribute to the growth of a nation. One is dialogue amongst practitioners, different business leaders in different aspects of life, actually not just business leaders, different leaders in Indian society, business leaders, leaders of social movements, of academic institutions. Now they are all having their own experiences where they are facing challenges that might be unique but might also be common, and they are trying to look for solutions. Dialogue amongst these leaders helps us learn best practices from one another, helps us try out new things. And then the second element that is particularly powerful about India Leadership Council is the bridging between academics and practice. Now, that can be very powerful. Academics gives you an ability to stand apart a little bit from the day-to-day challenges and the nitty-gritties. On the other hand, the world of practice is right there on the coal face of what is happening. And so if academics and practitioners are able to have good interchange, academics may inform the practitioners with a broader perspective maybe, and the practitioners may be able to address the academics and point to some of the emergent challenges and emergent circumstances in society. Innovation, ability, and capacity building. And to encourage innovation, what the nation ought to do is create an ecosystem which is conducive to innovation. You will notice wherever there is a lot of innovation, it tends to happen in clusters. Silicon Valley, for example, in Israel, for example. And the reason it happens in clusters is a number of conditions come true together. There is a fluid labor market, there is availability of risk-taking venture capital, there is mentorship networks, there is a sense that you can take risks and not pay very heavy penalty for that. And so create an innovation ecosystem in India, at least in some clusters, some locations. It's already happening, only it tends to be very industry specific in the nation. So that's one, creating innovation ecosystem. What we should not be doing is actually privileging specific industries or specific geographies. Because policymakers are not very good at specifically identifying which industry will flourish or which sector will flourish. Just create equal opportunity for people in different areas, different dimensions to flourish, and provide them with a base infrastructure that they are able to give meaning to their dreams. Of course, this leads to the second question, which is capacity building. I hear a lot of people saying that we have to create jobs for our people, our youth, and I worry about that. Because if you create jobs for people, what you are trying to do is make sure that people just take those jobs and have a sense of entitlement. What you want to do is build capacity in youth so that they can be doing meaningful work. They might be creating jobs for others, building enterprises. They might have confidence to go in any kind of position and flourish and add value. And the way you build capacity is by having good, meaningful, appropriate education. People again use the term skilling for it. I think skilling is just one dimension of effective education. I think it's a very good initiative. It gives us an opportunity for some people who are in leadership positions in different sectors of society to share thoughts, having ideas. So you share best practices, but it also gives people an opportunity to build shared momentum. Sometimes initiatives that are very good don't work out because they don't get critical mass. And having a council like this, if sufficient people are seized of some ideas or some things to do, this gives a platform and opportunity to push that more meaningfully.